9 News at 5 starts right now.
A tense standoff this morning in a Thornton neighborhood.
Police escorted me into my house. I got my dog and left.
Now tonight, police explain what happened in the moments before 2 officers were shot in the line of duty. Plus, Hurricane Milton now just a few hours from making landfall, already causing dozens of tornado warnings across the state of Florida.
I heard a piece of glass crack and it sucked the whole roof off, and I felt the thing suck me up, and I grabbed my kid and my wife and hunkered down.
And as the former president sells out a rally in Aurora, election officials are making sure that they're ready for November 5th.
We start in Thornton. Both officers are expected to recover after the shooting this morning there. One of them is already out of the hospital. Thanks for joining us for 9 News at 5. I'm Tom Green.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. Now, things escalated quickly at the home near 160th and York. Our Kelly Rinke is near the scene tonight. And Kelly, 9 News cameras were there the moment the officers were hit.
Yes, and now we're learning that one of those officers was injured by glass and shrapnel. He's the one that has been released from the hospital. The other officer was injured by a gunshot wound, serious injuries, but he's expected to be okay. Like you mentioned, our cameras captured the moment those officers were hit by gunfire as they were taking cover behind a car. We have blurred this video, but we just want to warn you before we play it for you. The chief of police said they got a 911 call around 8 a.m. and then about an hour later, a man exited the house with a suspected rifle and began firing at officers. The chief said officers fired back. He thinks they shot the suspect before he walked back inside the home. Investigators used a drone to find out where he was inside the house, and then SWAT entered the house. The chief said first responders found their suspect dead inside.
Our cursory talking to the neighbors was just to see what they've heard at this point. We'll be going through and doing a neighborhood canvass and talking to neighbors further to see what there might be as far as history or any type of other calls for service at that house.
Thornton police say this man did live at this residence, but he was the only person that was inside the home during the time of the shooting. Thornton police at this time have not released his name. Live in Thornton, I'm Kelly Rinke, 9 News.
Kelly, thank you for the update. This afternoon, Governor Jared Polis sent out a statement about the shooting, saying gun violence has no place in Colorado, while wishing the 2 officers a speedy recovery.
9 News Investigates Kevin Vaughn has been following the story tonight. He found some data that shows instances where officers are being shot at are becoming more common. Kevin?
Tom, over the last 30 years, the number of officers who've been killed has held remarkably steady, but that does not tell the whole story. The FBI tracks data from thousands of law enforcement agencies across the country. One statistic is felonious killings of police officers. The average the past 5 years was 58 deaths a year. That's almost exactly what it was over a 5-year span in the mid-90s, when it was 59 a year. But the number of assaults on officers with guns, that's way up. An average of more than 1,800 annually over the same 5-year span in the 1990s, and more than 2,800 a year the past 5 years. Thornton was founded in 1956. The city has never lost an officer in the line of duty. Live in Thornton, I'm Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
All right, Kevin, thanks for those numbers. Now we turn to Hurricane Milton, set to make landfall very soon as a major hurricane on the west coast of Florida. Today, the storm was also triggering an outbreak of tornadoes. Florida saw more tornado warnings today than it's seen on any other day in recorded history, and at least 11 are confirmed to have touched down.
People who are still in Florida are now being told to shelter in place. Drone video caught a long line of cars on their way out of the Tampa area yesterday, still trying to get out of Dodge. But not all routes out of the city are even open. Several major bridges to Tampa were closed this afternoon. The wind and rain is making it too dangerous for vehicles.
And really the pain and the fear that people have here is that what happened about 2 years ago with Hurricane Ian could happen again. They fear that history could repeat itself and that damage, the storm surge that we are expected to get here could happen again. And those properties there could be completely destroyed as they just tried to rebuild them in the last 2 years.
That was Christian Colon reporting south of Tampa in Fort Myers. He's one of dozens reporter on the scene with Hurricane Milton bearing down. We're offering 24/7 coverage of the storm through our 9 News Plus app. But for now, let's check in with Weather Impact Team meteorologist Kathy Sabin, keeping an eye on the storm and our local forecast. Kathy?
Tom, as you mentioned, it's amazing. A record number of tornado warnings out ahead of landfall of this system, which we expect within the next hour or two. 100 tornado warnings. And we've had pictures coming in of devastating damage from those giant wedge tornadoes. Now the flood warning. Power is out for a large part of the state, and they're issuing shelter-in-place orders now. So you got to stay put. It's not safe. The flooding is occurring or imminent. It has been downgraded to a Cat 3 from a Cat 5 with winds to 120 miles per hour, but the modeling did not have the exact path of it right on track. So it's coming in, it's heading for land between Tampa and Siesta Key, and on the southern edge of where it makes landfall is where the greatest storm surge would be. Catastrophic, life-threatening storm surge, 12 to 15 feet. And on the northern edge of it, and what they're fearful of in Tampa, not only the heavy rain and surge, but hurricane force winds over 100 miles per hour. So all of this coming together here over the next few hours, a very dangerous storm. While here in Colorado, our weather's been warm and dry and quiet, but I am tracking some changes by the weekend. This above average temperature trend has created an elevated fire danger scenario. We have wildfire smoke coming in, creating poor air quality, but we also have tinder dry conditions and grass fires that are easily set with conditions like this. But as I mentioned, Tom, Alex, coming up, changes in the long term. I'll have the timing and impact just ahead.
Kathy, thank you. This afternoon, dozens of members of Colorado's Task Force 1 hit the road to help with recovery from Hurricane Milton. They're flying to Jacksonville from DIA. They will shelter in Florida during the worst of the storm, and then they got to quickly jump into action with imminent rescue situations.
Virtually every task force in the national system is activated and ready to go. Some are still doing some work in North Carolina, but they're rapidly shifting resources to Florida.
In all, there will be 80 members of Task Force 1 on the ground in the southeastern U.S. They expect to find out where they'll be needed once the storm passes over Florida.
Aurora police say a man in a black ski mask robbed a woman at gunpoint near Chambers and Alameda this morning. That happened around 7 a.m. Students at the Community College of Aurora's Center Tech campus were told to stay inside for a few hours while police looked for their suspect. At this point, no arrests have been made.
There are no more tickets available for former President Donald Trump's Friday rally at the Gaylord in Aurora. We've been checking since the event was announced. The event is free to attend, but the Trump campaign was asking people to RSVP using their name, email, and phone number. Doors open at 10 a.m., and Trump is scheduled to speak at 1 o'clock.
The mail-in ballots are going to begin going out to Colorado voters on Friday, and today the city of Denver held logic and accuracy testing for its voting equipment. It's repetitive but important work. Employees run ballots through the machines, making sure that everything is being counted properly. These tests are happening at election centers all around the state. By law, all the testing must be done by Tuesday.